Today we are going to make this. So this is going to be the refrigerator surround, or AKA the refrigerator cabinet as Joe puts it. Before I attach these on the right side of the stove, I want to make this. And I want to make this so I can kind of level it and get it all situated together, because this is going to be over here. I don't know if you have to do it this way. I'm just choosing to do it this way because I feel like that is the right process or the right step to do. So today we're making this refrigerator surround. And there's a couple of different ways that you can make it. I bought a ready-made cabinet to go above it. And so I am going to be anchoring two side pieces to that, and then I'm going to have some braces in the back. I've seen other videos on YouTube where they just make this into a shelf or a cubby of some sort. I wanted to have some maximum airflow because there is some chatter of you have to have certain airflow so your refrigerator doesn't get burnt up or anything like that. And then there's some chatter that's not necessarily true. The newer ice boxes, refrigerators, they are insulated, and I don't know what's true and what's not. So I am still going to kind of default to the side of needing some space around the refrigerator. And I'm doing it for two reasons. First of all, that chatter that you need to have some airflow around your unit, but also, what if this refrigerator goes out and I need to get a different refrigerator? I'm always trying to think with the end goal in mind. Yeah, you can probably tight fit it and make it perfect, but then in the future, what if you have to go and get a different refrigerator and you have to modify it? You'll have to rip it all apart. So everything that I'm doing here in the kitchen is always with the end goal in mind. What if an appliance breaks? They're gonna break. You're gonna need a new appliance at one time or another. So you might as well kind of forward plan for that. As much hard work as we're putting in this kitchen, I kind of would like a little bit of flexibility, compromise and flexibility, right? So in case things, happen in the future, I don't want to go through a complete kitchen remodel again. I don't think I could live through that. So we are going to make this refrigerator surround by using a couple of measurements that I made, and I made this using this printout here. This has two sides, some stretchers or brackets, and then the ready-made cabinet. So I took the dimensions of my refrigerator and space, and this is what I have come up with. I need a 95-foot section, 95 inches. This is all in inches. 95 inches by 30 depth. I measured to this part of the cabinet, not the door of the cabinet, because you have to have clearance when the refrigerator opens. So you need to have this free so you can open and close the refrigerator. Eventually, I'm going to move the refrigerator door to the other side because it makes more sense to me. And this refrigerator came from my old house before Joe and I got married. So at that time, the door had to be on that side. But I think for this kitchen, the door has to be on the other side. So we'll have to switch the doors, and that's easy to do. So 30 inches from a wall to edge of the refrigerator. And you can always move the refrigerator in and out a little bit for that clearance. 95 is to the ceiling. So actually it's 96 from floor to ceiling on both sides of the refrigerator. But I'm giving that inch of grace, and we will eventually at the very tail end of this project be capping these top cabinets with a little bit of molding, but that's future kitchen updates. And then these stretchers are 1x4s, and they are 36. And the reason why I went with 36 is that is the size of the cabinet, the ready-made cabinet. The refrigerator is not 36 inches. The refrigerator is 34 inches. So it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. As you can see, there's going to be a top opening here for some airflow. There's going to be plenty of airflow behind it. There's going to be 2 inches of airflow. And then from this cabinet to the top of the refrigerator, there'll be about 3 inches. That's kind of what I've read of what you need to have for airflow clearance if you subscribe to that type of thinking. I'm sure there's going to be lots of chatter in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that has a little bit more expertise than mine. Please share. But like I said, this is what I've kind of gathered from the research. So we're going to cut 30 by 95, 2 panels. So you'll need 2 pieces of plywood for that. And then for these wood brackets, or I call it stretcher, but brackets, 1x4s, 36 inches. So I got one 12-foot 1x4. So we'll cut that down. So let's get into this project. It is going to look so good. kind of like, I don't know, almost like finishes it off. It looks really, really good, guys. Of course, the wall is not straight, plumb. It's bowed a little bit, but that I'm not worried about because we're going to put finishing strips on the edge. But so far, looks good. I'll bring you closer. So on this side of the stove, you can see, you can imagine how that will be. And then we're going to put uppers there, and I have a certain plan with the range hood, and that's how it's going to feel. And then when you walk in, it's just going to look nice and finished. Super excited. Let's continue on. Now we have to make the 36-inch brackets and put pocket holes in them so then we can make this into a box.
So you're going to use this little all-in-one tool to kind of lock that chuck in place. You're going to place that bit into your screwdriver, and then you're going to lock your wood in place. Now, I just recently was told by my husband, you have to use this kind of motion when you drill. If not, you're going to burn up your wood. I decided only to do pocket holes in one side, and the reasoning why was, how am I going to flip it up? And I'll show you here in a second. So that first bracket I have to bring up off the floor because we have the line that goes into the refrigerator, so it has to be up from the floorboard. So that is what determined my height on this first bracket. The second bracket was made height wise because there is an electrical outlet, and I had to make sure I cleared that. So I am, like I said, only going to do brackets on one side, and it's so I can pick this up because this thing is so tall I wouldn't have been able to get it upright without, hurting something or damaging something. And so I'm measuring on the other panel how high I have to go, and I am going to be drilling from the outside in on both sides because it's stronger. The pocket holes are just ease of doing this project myself, but I do need to make this stronger, and so I'm electing to do screws to the outside in as well. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. We've built the two sides and then we put the braces on. So I'm going to step back and let you look at what it looks like right now. It's not very strong. It's very flimsy. But it will have to be anchored to these cabinets here on this wall. All right, so this is what it looks like right now. We have to anchor it into the studs, and that is it for today. Hi guys, it's the next day and I have the painting overalls on, so that means I'm going to paint. So before we install the cabinets and do anything else further with the face frame and the ready-made cabinet up there, I want to paint it. The outside is going to be the Pure White by Sherwin-Williams in the Valspar furniture and cabinet paint. So that's the outside. And then the inside, I'm just going to top coat it just for ease of cleaning because it'll get dirty and dusty in there and you just need to clean it. So today is all about painting. What are you going to do, dear?
I want to do the sink.
Supervisor?
No.
Rogue leveler?
What?
You're going rogue.
Rogue?
Yes, you are. You have to do the back first. Oh, you did the back. You do. You have to level back. Back, then front, then sides. That's what the YouTubers do. Sydney, Arkansas, I think, has a population of, what was it last time we checked? Like 300?
I want to say it was like 316 or
316, 318?
something like that.
Best time of my life growing up. Love going to the farm. Oh, I forget how short I am. Somehow when I paint, I always think, oh no, I can get to the top. I don't need anything to step on. Little do I understand. I need something to step on. This wood is just sucking all the top coat. Next time when I say painting will only take me about 30 minutes.
It never takes 30 minutes.
Huh?
It never.
Never. I grossly underestimate the time of painting.
Kind of at a loss for words.
You mean the meow's not going to cut it?
No.
Yeah, like he's meowing right now.
Is that really him or is that Little Cat?
No, that's Oliver.
Oliver? Since when does he meow like that?
He's out in the garage.
He's a goober.
He's looking at that goober.
Yeah, he's a goober head. Yeah, let's keep going. This is fun making fun of the cat. I'm gonna call that good.
Versus not good.
Yeah.
So I am using what I have used on all the cabinets. It is Valspar cabinet and furniture paint. I am using the color Pure White in Sherwin-Williams, like I said. And I am not priming it. I don't feel like you need to with this specific paint. If I happen to see any bleed through later on, obviously I'll throw a coat of shellac over it and put another coat. But so far I have not seen any bleed through, and I have placed 2 coats on this, and that's all I need is the 2 coats of the white, and then we will go and top coat it later. Now we have to cut the brackets to help hold that cabinet in place. I'm cutting 3 pieces. I'm going to cut 2 for the sides and 1 for the back. And that is out of a 2x4 that my husband ripped down because it was cheaper. That's the only reason. I just wanted some stability for that cabinet in case you put heavier items up there that you don't use often, like stock pots or anything like that. In my head, I just want to use like overflow paper products like paper towels and like the big thermos jugs. When Max plays band, he needs water. So that's in my mind, that's what's going to go up in this cabinet, just like the bigger things. But I still want to make it stable just in case. Remember, I'm keeping the end goal in mind, all because this is, in my mind's eye, that's what's going to go up there. Doesn't mean that that's what's always going to go up there. Now, doing projects by yourself, you learn little extra things here and there. I don't have 5 hands. I don't have 5 arms. I need help. Clamps are your best friend in all shapes, in all sizes. The C clamps tend to hold better, but these little slide clips here are great, especially when you're doing furniture, but actually in this process as well, just to kind of hold in place so I can level everything out. But I will use the C clamps underneath it just to kind of keep it a little bit more sturdy. So when I screw from the opposite side, it is still in place. But you learn a couple of tricks here and there, and that is my hint to you, is to use clamps whenever you can. After I clamp this in place, I am going to screw from the opposite side. And I know that I will have screws that I'll have to kind of hide and conceal. If I was staining this piece, I would do it differently. But since I'm painting this, I can cover up a screw. I'm just going to countersink the screws in a little bit, and then I'm just going to go back with some dry wood putty, or actually that's what I used, is dry wood putty. There's all sorts of different kinds, spackle, whatever, just to cover up the screw head so you won't be able to see it. But I want to make this as sturdy as I possibly can. And so I am going to screw from the outside in, using screws just deep enough to go through the plywood and that 2x2. And yes, both Joe and I are on our headsets listening to different music. We listen to different things, and this is the way for us to work together in a space, because not everybody likes the same kind of music, but that doesn't mean that we can't like just plug in our ears and work away. It also kind of serves for ear protection as well. And sometimes he belts out tunes.
Yeah. 18, move the balls away. Oh, the
moving. Gotta keep moving. Oh, what have I here? Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. The cat's gonna get in there.
Huh?
The cat's gonna get in there.
Well,
That's gonna be his hidden spot.
And just like the brackets, I am attaching the sidewalls to the cabinet from the outside in. And actually, that made this cabinet stronger. If you want to use a ready-made cabinet, you can. If you want to build that into a shelf, I feel like that shelf would make the cabinet a little bit more stronger. So excited. It is turning out so good. I'm excited.
made that. I made that. All right, so face frame and what all do I have to do? The bracket that goes here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Face frame, and then just quarter round up here, right?
Oh, well, not quarter round.
Or
Quarter round is just a quarter.
yeah.
Are you
just
thinking
molding.
half round, or are you thinking just mold? I mean, there, molding would work well.
Face
But
frame.
you just don't want it to extend out. You need to, or in my opinion, you need to put the door, or at least put the door on and see how much room you have. You know what I mean? And see how wide, if you're going to do molding, see how wide you can do the molding.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to do the molding.
But I made that.
I did good job, dear. Good job.
Thank you for your help and your input.
Yeah, I can really give you that, yeah. Summer's waiting.
What are you doing?
I'm doing, right now, I'm playing electrician.
Now, should just anybody play electrician, or should you know how?
Anybody should play electrician.
No,
Yes.
no.
Small children, the elderly, those who can't see, anyone.
No, we can't put that on the YouTube. No, but you should know what you're doing. Because you never know how they wired your house.
What's this called again?
What? You know?
No.
Because we've had some funky wiring in this house. My last house? Oh my God, there was some very inventive wiring. So you need to know what you're doing before you start playing with wires.
Just whether or not it's live.
So that's it for today's video. We did a lot. Next video.
Oh, sorry.
Next video, we are going to keep finishing leveling and installing the cabinet. And then we're going to put the sink in and a countertop. Plywood countertop until we figure out what kind of countertop we want. We have to go to the stone yard.
Speaking of that, there's a place across the street that does countertops. Wonder if they would.
I think it's worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile to go and see who has the best, number one, best steel, but installation, practice, and all that kind of stuff. You know, just see what their prices are before we go to Home Depot and
Agreed.
slap down.
I kind of feel like Home Depot's.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Home Depot's wonderful.
We do have to investigate some countertops. So next week's video, finish installing the cabinet, the microwave cabinet. The microwave cabinet, putting the sink in, and start putting the doors back on and hardware. Once the cabinets are in, you put the doors on. No. I am replacing the slides with soft close. But that's in, next week's video. It won't be in this week's video. All right. So, you guys, if this is your jam, if this is something that you like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We are going to continue to work, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.